roll call by our city recorder.
Mayor Roland Dykes.
Here.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Here.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Here.
Alderwoman Luetta Ottinger.
Here.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Here.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Here.
City Attorney Terry Hurst.
Here.
City Administrator James Fincham.
Here. Item 3, in your packet you have a copy of the minutes from the previous meeting, regular session, April 9th, 2024. What is the board's pleasure?
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, regular session, April 9th, 2024. Has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by the normal sign of aye.
Aye.
Nays have the like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Now, my pleasure to present this proclamation to Cock County High School Lady Red basketball team. Whereas the 2024 Cock County High School Lady Red basketball team season saw many individual and team accomplishments, and whereas several student athletes of the Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team achieved personal records and school records. And whereas the Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team overall record for the season was 29-9 for a school record of wins with first-year coach Brody Bible and staff assistant coaches Rick Sinard and Katie Jo Knight. And whereas the Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team are regular season district champions, district tournament runner-up, regional tournament champions, sectional champions, and state tournament Final Four. And whereas the Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team went to the TSSAA Class 3A state semifinals where they won their first game. And whereas the last time a Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team went to a state tournament was in 1988, and the last time Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team won a first game at state tournament was in 1958. And whereas the 2024 Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team has had an amazing season and record year. These young ladies have talent that will be talked about for years to come. And now, therefore, in order to pay tribute to Cobb County High School Lady Red basketball team, I, Roland Dykes III, Mayor of the City of Newport, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim May 14, 2024 as Cobb County High School Lady Red Day and commend all citizens to recognize and support them on this great day. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and affixed the seal of the City of Newport, Tennessee, the 14th day of May, 2024.
Yeah, hey, come on.
Yeah, right up on behind the you want to line the team up behind y'all in here. Might want to get the hall out.
Thank you.
What?
You want us to move?
Yeah, would you please?
Well, we really appreciate it.
Good job, baby.
Buddy, how many of those girls come back?
All of them but 3. We've got several returners coming back. We lose some Hallie, and then Destiny Reese and Kirsten Moore, who couldn't be here tonight. But and also Hallie signed to play basketball in Miracle College, so she's going to make us proud. Thank you all.
Cody, see
City Attorney Terry Hurst.
I just want to say a couple of things too. Congratulations, Carmichael, All-State as a freshman. She's amazing. And next week she's going to the state tournament in track, where she'll be representing Cobb County High School. Pretty amazing. Also, everybody probably doesn't know, but half the basketball team plays on the Cobb County High School softball team. Just completed a very successful season. Coach Hartzell's here. We certainly appreciate what he's done for the softball team. Proud of the softball team.
Yes.
Two other. He just had to be here because his daughter plays basketball. My granddaughter plays basketball. But one other thing, seeing two ladies here who played basketball, Katie Hurst Prophet, Haley Slagle, Alan Slagle, played, graduated in the year 2000, played basketball, had a great softball team. I just want to kind of recognize them too. Thank you, Mayor.
But it's probably not your genes, but both of them are raising athletes.
You had to come with that in. All right, item 5 is communications from our city administrator, Mr. James Fincher.
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I have is to bring y'all up to speed on an issue I've been dealing with for some time now. I'm going to have it on the agenda in June. And that is addressing the cost now for hauling our garbage to Morristown. The county has gone to a complete compacting system in all of their convenience centers. And so we are still using the old standard 40-yard containers that you just dump the trash in and haul it. And the difference in the cost is $2,500 a month. So extra that's having to be paid to haul our garbage. So my recommendation, and it'll be y'all's decision, but my recommendation is to purchase a commercial compactor so we can start compacting the garbage like the county is. And because of our size, the volume of what we deal with on a daily basis, we have to have a commercial. We can't do it with what the county does with the small ones at the convenience centers. But with our garbage being compacted like theirs is, then we won't be on the hook for this $2,500 a month forever. So that would go away. And after, it's about $30,000 a year. So the compactor will cost around $80,000. So in less than 3 years, you pay for it. And but it's something I really hadn't talked to y'all about because I didn't have all the information on it until yesterday. I couldn't get a price on the compactor until yesterday. And so there wasn't any point in coming to y'all with it until I had something I could really tell you other than it's happening. And so I finally yesterday got the number on what the commercial compactor would cost. And so the counties are about half that. But the hopper, of course, ours will be bigger, and plus the hopper, which is what you have to dump the trash into, which they don't have. Their trash is loaded by the individual that brings the trash. They throw the bags in. Ours will have to be dumped in, and so we have to have a hopper, and that has to be fabricated. And just that one thing costs $25,000 to have that added onto it. So, but we estimate a total cost of about $80,000 to get it and get it installed out there in the transfer station. And so we got it, logistically it fit. The company has looked at the transfer station and they're confident it'll work where we want to put it, and our system will have to do some more modifications in there, change the way we deal with the trash to get it into the hopper, but we've got all that figured out. But that is something that my plan is to have on the agenda for June. But I wanted to tell you about it tonight so we would have time to discuss it between now and then to see if you all are in agreement that that's the best way to go. And or to pay that monthly fee from now on for the difference in the cost to haul uncompacted garbage versus compacted garbage, because compacted garbage requires fewer loads than uncompacted. The other thing, I wanted to bring you up to speed a little bit on where we are on the community development director's position. We interviewed 4 people last week. They all did a good job in their interviews. Only one had any experience at all in community development. And we're going to continue to look right now. We have decided to reach out to the regional colleges that have community development degree programs and check with their placement services and see did they have any graduates this month that they might could send our way. That's going to be our next step. We have also learned about maybe 1 or 2 more people that missed the deadline but are interested if we would accept their application and give them an interview. And I have sent back word that yes, we would do that. There was one candidate, Missy and the mayor and I did the interviews. We had an extensive discussion after each one, and then another discussion at the end of all 4. And we were pretty much in agreement on how we ranked them 1 through 4. And so if none of this other stuff pans out, we're going to circle back to who the consensus number 1 was, and bring them back in and do a follow-up with them. I do feel like that individual is trainable. I think they were all trainable. The question is, how much time do we want to use training them opposed to them being fruitful? And so, and some people learn quicker than others. Some people interview better than others. So it's a little bit of a risk any way you go. But we were in agreement, all 3 of us, that we want to do our due diligence and take our time, and because we really need to get it right, because we told every one of the candidates that Newport is at a critical juncture right now, because we've got so many things that are going our way, and we've got some momentum, and we don't want that to stop. So we are working on it. A couple of y'all have asked about it, and so I wanted to bring everybody up to speed tonight. And starting next Monday, Caroline Brawley, who worked as an intern in Gary's office summer before last, just graduated from Furman this year, and she's taking some time off from school before she goes back to get her master's degree. And so she has agreed to come back, and because she is familiar with the office and has done some work in the office, she has agreed to come back and be a liaison between Gary and our projects, so that Gary can guide her on where to go, who to talk to, and they can go back and forth, and she can be his hands, feet, and eyes on the ground here, so we can keep everything rolling and not get behind the 8 ball on anything. So she will start next Monday as a coordinator. She did not apply for the director's job. She has no interest in it, but she does have an interest in, she enjoyed her time here as an intern. And so she's really excited about coming back and getting to spend time doing that again. She really enjoyed what I was involved in. Did a good job, super smart. And I'm feeling good about that as on an interim basis till we can figure out to try to find the best fit that we can to go in and keep that momentum going. That's all I got there. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6 is appointment of boards, commissions, and committees, of which we have none at this point. Reports from committees, members of council, and other officers, of which we have nothing on the agenda. So we'll move on. Item 8, which is old business or unfinished business. Item A is consideration of the second reading of ordinance number 2024-01, amending the zoning map of the city of Newport to include property 1100 West Highway 2570 in the C3 Interstate Business Zone.
That's Gary's, oh, there he is. He snuck in on me.
This is the piece of property that we annexed in that the racetrack travel center is going to be on, and it's the best fit for them to be zone C3 interstate commercial traffic.
What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve the second reading of ordinance number 2024-01, amending the zoning map of the city of Newport to include property 1100 West Highway 2570 in the C3 Interstate Business Zone. It has been properly seconded. Roll call. Here is roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item B is consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2024-02, amending Title 12 Buildings, Utility, etc. Codes, Chapter 1 Building Codes, Section 12-101, adopting the 2018 International Building Code.
This is a state fire marshal recommendation to get us up to within the time frame of the acceptable building codes they prefer, and we'll have to update again next year, but by then we should have a new building official who will be certified in the 2025 codes.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve that. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board then to approve consideration of second reading of ordinance number 2024-02, amending Title 12 Buildings, Utility, etc. Codes, Chapter 1 Building Code, Section 12-101, adopting the 2018 International Building Code. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye. Do we need a roll call?
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
In correction for the record, I said 2025, 2024 would be what we will adopt next year because we should have building official certified in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 9, motion carries, I'm sorry. Item 9, new business. Discussion of audit for fiscal year 2023. Haley, I think you're up.
Got some required communication. I'm not sure that I sent to you all in advance, so I brought copies for you all. Now, I understand y'all are very upset that Frank is not here. You're sensitive to his reports.
Don't go back and tell him you said that.
He's at the beach, so you get stuck with me. And I'll be brief. First of all, thank y'all. Yeah, I know.
She means.
Don't put me on the spot here. That letter that I just handed to y'all is just some required communications telling you that We did complete the audit for June 30th, 2023. We issued our report on February 23rd of 2024. We did the audit of the city, which includes the general fund, drug fund, and we also completed the audit of Newport Grammar School and their federal projects, cafeteria fund, and internal school funds. We did not audit NU, but we did receive their audit reports from their auditors, and we've relied solely on their information, and that is in our audit reports. And this letter also just talks about some accounting policies, estimates, and lets you know that we had no disagreements with management, and they provided us everything we needed. I think all of y'all have a copy of this quite lengthy book, as it's getting larger and larger. I'll be brief. Our audit report and opinion starts on page 4. It is a clean opinion. All the financial information is presented fairly. It does state that we didn't audit NU, again, that we relied on their auditors, but their information is included in this audit report. And y'all are very, very, very familiar with this anyways. The management's discussion analysis section does include some good snapshots of comparative information from year to year if you want to review that. Financially, the general fund, your fund balance is basically over 100% of your expenditures. The general purpose school fund is running about 75 to 78%, so you all are in a very strong financial position. The notes to these financial statements are quite lengthy. If you need to go to sleep one night, it makes for very good reading material, but there is a lot of detailed information in there about the numbers presented in the financial statements. Federal programs, we did have to complete a single audit this year, as we typically do and will every year because of so many federal funds running through the schools. We did audit 2 major programs this year. Of course, it was the ARPA funding, the coronavirus funding, and the ESSER programs at the schools. That was deemed a high-risk program by the GAO, and so we were required to audit those in addition to our regular financial statement audit. And we've issued 2 separate reports in the back. One is on internal control and compliance over the financial statements, and another one is separately on those federal programs. As far as findings, we did have 3 findings this year. All 3 of those do relate to the schools, and I've met with Dr. Norton, and we've discussed those extensively, and they've provided responses, and I think that those have been corrected and will be corrected going forward. If you all have any specific questions about any of those findings, I'm glad to answer them. But other than those, it's a clean report. You all are in good financial shape. Always happy to answer any questions that you all have. I do want to thank the finance department at both the city and the schools and all the department heads. It's truly a team effort to come up with this. It's a lot of financial information. Everyone's always available to answer any questions that we might have and to help us, gather what we need to prepare this. So, like I said, I'll be brief. Do y'all have any specific questions?
You're welcome to come back anytime.
I'm welcome. Okay, all right.
Is giving her a tip illegal?
Yeah, probably.
I told you was that 5 minutes? I told you 5 minutes, right?
Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Haley.
Oh, that's funny.
First time that's happened.
She can come back if Frank is not on vacation.
Item B under new business is consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-03, budget amendment for the city of Newport.
And Mayor, the full caption, you did a good job on those others, but the full caption is ordinance on this one, 2024-03, an ordinance amending the annual operating budget and capital program for the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2023-2024.
Heard the reading. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board then to approve consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-03, budget amendment for the city of Newport. It has been properly seconded. We will need a roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger. Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item C is consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-04, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School.
And that is ordinance number 2024-04, an ordinance of amending the annual operating budget and capital program of the city of Newport, Tennessee, fiscal year 2023-2024 for Newport Grammar School.
Heard the reading of the ordinance. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-04, budget amendment for Newport Grammar School. It has been properly seconded. We need roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item D, consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-05, budget for fiscal year 2024-25 for the city of Newport.
And Mayor, that's ordinance number 2024-05, an ordinance of the city of Newport, Tennessee, adopting the annual operating and capital budget for the city of Newport and the annual budget for the Newport Grammar School and tax rate for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
Heard the reading of the ordinance. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board then to approve the consideration of first reading of ordinance number 2024-05, budget for fiscal year 2024-25 for the city of Newport. Has been properly seconded. We need roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item E is consideration of resolution number 2024-07, removing community development partners and hiring East Tennessee Development District for administration services for ARC grants.
We currently have 2 ARC grants, both in the downtown footprint. One is for Phase 2 of the stormwater mitigation. The other is for the streetscape project on Woodlawn. We are not breaking with community development partners because we have a bad relationship with them. It just happens that the gentleman that worked for community development partners in East Tennessee has left his employment there and now works for the development district. And for ease of, for the continuation of the effort that we put forth, and Chris and I work well together, we are going to break with community development partners on these 2 only. We still have several projects that community development partners will continue working with us on, but we will break with them on these ARCs and then pick up the development district as our grant administration firm.
All right. Okay, you've heard.
Can you understand me? I feel like everything sounds, it's coming through this.
Foghorn, leghorn.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You don't ever do jokes, so it's okay.
But anyway, this resolution, you've heard the presentation, and I will reiterate that this was only for the 2 ARC grants that Chris Elgitz was working on when he was at Community Development Partners, and he has since left and went to East Tennessee Development District. So we felt like it was in the best interest of keeping him attached to those projects since he was working on those. So at this point, what's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the resolution. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board then to approve consideration of resolution number 2024-07, removing community development partners and hiring East Tennessee Development District for administration services for ARC grants. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye.
Aye.
Nays have like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Item F is consideration of resolution number 2024-08, hiring engineering services for stormwater project.
This is very similar to the work that was done for Indian Hills. This is going to be for Richland Park. If you guys, I'm sure Alderman Hansel knows since he's lived there, but any rain event, a lot of that water, there's a couple of streets that go underwater down there. And so we want to know how to fix it so we can help our citizens not lose property or have to vacuum water out of their basement, and I need the services of an engineer to tell me exactly what we should do. This is Barg Design Solutions. This is who has done the work for Indian Hills. It's good continuity. They're familiar with the neighborhood, and recommend that we hire them with this resolution.
They haven't got about Indian Hills yet.
No, and that's the bid coming up. What they did their report, got everything done, and the work that we're going to do in item E in bids and purchases is going to solve that. We hope solves that problem. Yes, sir.
Okay, you've heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board then consideration of resolution number 2024-08, hiring engineering services for stormwater project. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye.
Aye.
And nays have like sign. Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item G is consideration of amending the Police Department general orders.
Morning, Board. I'm filling in for Chief Lamb. I guess he decided to throw me to the fire, but that's okay. That's all right. I don't mind. Basically what it is, we got a notice from the TBI that they want us to amend our NCIC policy. It's not that we were in non-compliance, they just want us to update it. It's going to be section 15.05, and that's ties and NCIC policy and procedures. They wanted us to update section D, and the only thing they wanted us to do, they had it for every 2 years to be recertified. They wanted it changed to every year. So we've changed that to every year now that we'll be certified. And they also wanted us to add a expired operator policy that we did not have that they wanted us to add. So we updated that as well. And we did send it back to TBI. They did approve it, sent it back. I took it to Terry. He looked over it, approved it as well. I just need you all to also to accept it as well. So just waiting on you all guys, and we would appreciate if y'all would approve that.
All right, the board has heard your presentation. What's your board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of amending the Police Department general orders. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye.
Aye.
Nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Item H, consideration of requests to assess accumulated sick time for a fire department employee.
Yeah, I have a fire department employee who is having a baby, and this is just in case. We don't think that they'll have to do this, but just in case something was to happen with the pregnancy and the time off, that they need to get into this bucket is what we're asking for, just in case.
Okay, you've heard the request. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, have a motion then on the board, consideration of request to access accumulated sick time for a fire department employee has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye.
Aye.
And nays like sign. Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Item I is consideration of Parks and Recreation Department consolidation study.
We've been in discussions for some time, and I think most of y'all are aware of this, at least at some level, with the county about the possibility of consolidating some of our recreation programs to stop with duplication of service, with conflicting scheduling, and having enough players for 2 leagues to play and those kinds of things. And so we are to a point now where we need to have a study done, a feasibility study, and the state will come in and do that for us, but it's not free. And so it took us 2 or 3 months to get back a quote, but we finally got a quote back, and it's, I think it's $8,200 to do the whole study. And we and the county are going to split that, $4,100 each. And so what we're asking tonight is for you all to approve that and designate or appropriate the funds to pay for our half of the state study.
Okay, you heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
We were, to be clear, we were approached by the county about the possibility of doing this. And so and Tim can explain it much better than I can as far as the intricacies of it. But we felt like that by looking at it from both sides, that we could put a better product out there if we work together on it instead of having 2 conflicting leagues, basically, to have one league where that you're not trying to divide X number of players between 2 leagues. You have one league, and you have better teams and a better experience for the kids, the athletes. But we were, when the county approached us about it, we were in, I talked to Tim about it very early on, and he was supportive of it. He thought it would allow us to put a better product out there for the young people to participate in.
There's a lot of factors that James and I have factored into this. Is, our personnel, their personnel, how can we combine our programs? About the athletics, a part of it, is it run by Parks and Rec, or does it develop its own entity with a separate board that runs sports in Cocke County instead of it falling under the Parks and Rec of the city and the county recreation department? That's why we want to do the study, so that we get the maximum bang for our dollar, because that's the thing that was approached to Mr. Fincham, was that the county puts in a lot less money in recreation than what you do as the city. And so that being said, that opportunities are still great for us to combine and put a better administrated services in place for our young people that are playing sports. Right now, even in the school system, with the middle school, and Gary's been involved in that, they're trying to find a direction that they can go for football, in middle school football. So this could pan out to be a very positive move for us in the city, and get our athletics program under an umbrella instead of hodgepodging here and there.
I think the consensus when we met with the state and everybody was that probably like he mentioned, an umbrella organization, which they had, I forget what they called it, but it was like it's a new entity that would be running Little League sports. Like it'd be an organization that we would have input with, the county would have input with, and that way it wouldn't be, like he said, it wouldn't be us running and it wouldn't be them running it. It would be consolidated, but under like an authority that would be its own board and have its own way of doing things.
And this is what we hope the study comes out with. We can't say that that's what the study's going to say.
But we thought that was the best idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we sat with the state and they talked to us about what we could do and how they were going to do, and not only that, the resources that are out there, they're going to put apples to apples and oranges to oranges and onions to onions. So we've got to make sure that we stay involved in that study. And right now, I think they projected on the letter to maybe start in September for us to, or end in September for us with the study. So we're excited about having them coming in and looking at us.
Would there be one director over all of it, or?
Well, it could fall two ways. It could fall Parks and Rec. It could fall athletic entity with one person over that, but it separates out, but you would still not give up your powers as the City of Newport Properties and Facilities. The only thing that we would look at is what we're doing in the athletics program. With the volleyball, with the soccer, with the football, with the baseball, with the basketball, there's so many entities out there that if you live in Grassy Fort, you have to go to Centerview to play, and of course those of us that know these areas, a lot of these people can't get to and from. So when they have a road game like that far, they don't even go and play. They just wait till they play at home. And we've seen that, especially with the young people. So, it's going to unite our program too, I believe. Because I think that it'll be a board, if it happens, a board over the athletics that will keep the best interests of the kids in heart.
Would it be funded jointly from the city and the county?
Yes.
And so, they have a budget, we have a budget. Most of our goes into operations of our park facilities. And we do have athletics, and they do have athletics, and that would be the nucleus that starts it. But like we said, it could be its own fundraising entity. It all depends on how it comes out with this study and what they recommend.
And you don't have to do whatever they recommend.
No.
This is just taking us to the next. We don't know what all our options are at this point. Without this study, we can't make an informed decision. So we're not locking ourselves into any kind of an obligation on this. All we're doing is asking and funding a study to show what the options are and what the state's opinion would be our best option. And so we don't have to do any of them, but we can't make a decision without having something to look at.
And James made a really good point earlier that we were approached with this. We didn't go to them. They came to us and said, hey, how can we get the best bang for our dollar?
And we're open to working with them on anything and trying to put a better product out there. So there was a lot of valid arguments made, not arguments, but points made about how this could help the programs, the athletic programs, and the creation of the teams, and having a better experience for the young people.
And not only that that's why we hate to lose Gary, because he did a little study there, and he got to Maryville, Alcoa, and Blount County and talked to some communities that have already gone through this phase of it. And so Gary was a world of knowledge there, still is, because James has him under contract, so we're going to keep picking on him. So even though this is not a done deal, but he's done some research, and I have too. So there's some good stuff out there that could come out of this for us all.
We would like to do the study and just to see what our options are. And then, of course, you all will see the study just like we will. And you will make your own determination on, do you want to go in a different direction, or you want to keep things like they are? That's strictly y'all's decision. Nobody else will make that decision but you guys. And so, but we would like to take that next step and look at it to see what the options are.
And whatever the results of the study show, whatever plan it is, it can be tweaked to suit
Absolutely.
both parties.
This is just a recommendation and showing options.
Gotcha.
And one of the things we think that'll come out of the study too, and I don't mean to take much more time, is that facility management, as far as what we have in facilities. Could it turn us into a ball complex where we can get everybody playing at the same place? instead of going from here to here to here, there's that opportunities. And of course, you've seen the 10-year plan that we've been working on. You've seen the satellite park plans that we've been working on. All of this is going to be incorporated. It's not in it at this point, but that study will become a factor in what we're doing with Lowe's design.
Okay, you've heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of Parks and Recreation Department consolidation study. I think we need to put the amount in here. You got $4,100 for the city of Newport.
That's our half.
Right.
It's $8,200, but that's for our half.
Right. $4,100 for the city of Newport. It has been properly seconded. Please signify acceptance by aye. Aye. And nays like sign. Hearing none. Motion carries.
We're excited about looking at this. We think it has the potential to be a really good thing.
It can bring on a lot of development for us in a ball complex too, a centralized ball complex.
Okay, moving on. Item 10. A is consideration of bids for brick columns and sidewalks for 7 park sites.
I've got A, B, and C, I believe. So at our department head meetings, we see who's got the bids this week. So looks like I've got them, and Jeremy has them. The Parks and Recreation Department did some bids on brick columns and sidewalks at 7 different park sites, to include Filbert and Fifth, the Depot Pavilion tying into the downtown Greenway, Park to Float Connection, Pet Milk Park, Bryanttown Park, Woodland Park, and the Newport Grammar School Sports Complex. And I do recommend the low bid, the city accept Williams Lawn Care. This money is in the budget. It is in capital improvements, and it's there.
Okay.
These are for the entryway to the parks, so they'll all look alike. One of the things that's been our goal for the last 9 years that we've been refurbishing the parks is to get a uniformity to them, to where each one some way resembles the others. And so this is one more step in that direction, putting a set of columns at the entrance to each park, and that way they will all have those. And that will be one more item that every park has in common.
And if you've seen the Kiwanis Playground's a good example of the brick columns that are there, and the metal poles that come up, it's a Kiwanis Playground. So that way there is unity in every one of our park facilities.
Okay. Board's pleasure, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, have a motion on the board to approve consideration of bids for brick columns and sidewalks for 7 park sites in the amount of $60,875. $60,875. Did we have a second?
Yes.
Okay, we have a second. We need a roll call then.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Item B is consideration of bids for storefront entrance at the community center.
Sounds funny when you say storefront, but that's what they call it. Why, I don't know. We did accept bids on the entrance at the Newport Community Center, which will have 3 doors. When you open the door now, all the air rushes in, or you lose all the cold air going out. So this is like an alcove, and it will have 3 bronze doors that they'll swing out and have the hardware included, also the automatic openers. And I recommend we accept the Lakeway door and glass.
Okay, you've heard the presentation. Board's pleasure.
Motion approved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of bids for storefront entrance at the community center in the amount of $23,700. It has been properly seconded. Please signify your acceptance by aye.
Aye.
I'll take that back. We need a roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C is consideration of bids for new fencing at City Park and NGS Sports Complex.
Yeah, this has been a 3-year project going on at the sports complex and at the city park. If you come down the Denny Long's trailer park back there, you'll see where we've had trees that have fell over the fencing. The fencing's all growed up, it's honeysuckled up, and of course, at the Long Street, at the top of the park, it's the same situation. So this is one of those things that we've been working on 3 years to improve our fencing perimeter around the city park. And that's also at the top at Long Street is the shortcut for people coming from the apartment complexes down toward Northwest, so they find how to jump the fence there with the trees and stuff. And there's a lot of people that still know all those. And of course, this also includes barrier gate at the Woodland Park, so that we can start closing that at nighttime so that people can't be driving up into these areas. We've got cables up now with little old pipes holding them, so these barricade gates will be an addition to that property so that we can consider, or so we can close them down in the night, which gets us into the process of that property and maintaining it, because that's going to be a new line for us that we have to adapt to in our maintenance program. A lot of land up there, a lot of good land.
Okay, for the presentation, what's the board's pleasure, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board to approve consideration of bids for new fencing at City Park and NGS Sports Complex. Tim, did you mention who?
I
who
did
won
not
that
mention,
bid?
but I recommend Shoemakers. They did put in a bid for that, and that's taking it out and installing.
Okay.
Shoemakers Landscaping.
That's what the motion says, Shoemakers.
Yeah. Okay, we have a motion on the board then for consideration of bids for new fencing at City Park and NGS Sports Complex for Shoemaker Landscaping in the amount of $55,252. It has been properly seconded. We need a roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith. Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, council. This is 3-year projects right there that we're finishing up on, so thank you very much.
Tim, I have one question. I do see where Shoemakers is certified for liability. Is that for all those companies? They just
Yes.
chose to include this?
Yeah, that lady right there makes sure that we get documentations and insurances and W-9s and all the things that go along with it.
Thank you.
She'll make sure before we ever step on the property. And we've done a lot of work with Shoemakers, and they, Lakeway Doors did most of the doors, or most of the glass at the community center already. So we have some of that on file.
Thank you.
And item D, consideration of bids for a generator for the fire department.
Okay, Tim, you did a good job. Your paperwork was neat and in order, and then I come along and I shuffled everything up. So part of that is the insert that I give you guys for that. So I'd originally thought I had two bids and purchases going, and then when I seen the agenda, I only had one. So what I had done, what happened is I had combined the generator purchase with another purchase that's on that, but I give you guys the specs. So what we're looking at is purchasing a generator. Right now we're doing it just for the main station, and it's going to run off natural gas. You know, we're a fire department. we need to be running no matter what's going on, and all that stuff is operating. So we bid it out, and we decided to go with Helton's Electric if the board approves on that. And this money is budgeted is in the budget.
Okay. Heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
Make the motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the board to approval for consideration of bids for a generator for the fire department in the amount of $12,875 for Helton's. Roll call, please.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. On this, Mr. Hurst, I don't know, usually would you have to amend the agenda or vote on that to add an item? And I apologize, it got by us. I didn't catch it. But there should have been another agenda item, and it was the bid. It's for loose fire equipment, and we blended the backup behind the one bid item. So we're missing the orange sheet. There should have been another item. The data's in there.
Yeah, it's in the book, so I don't,
Yeah.
I think it's properly an agenda item, so we can
Okay,
move on.
so he can go ahead and just request the thing.
And I apologize for that. Tina caught that when we was in here where it was at on that. So we have this mythical new fire truck that's supposed to be coming any time now. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll be able to pull it up and do it. So they keep telling me their weeks are months and compared to my weeks. So, so anyway, I know that it has left South Dakota going to Alabama to get looked at. But what we have in here, part of this is equipment to put on the new truck, to add it up. And then we also have a reserve engine. While we're doing it, we're going to go ahead and get some equipment to put on it because these new trucks have this diesel exhaust fluid, and they're out of service a lot. So we have to put the old truck back in, and we're moving a lot of equipment around. So that's what kind of what the equipment is, and it's really cheaper to purchase this on your own than to purchase it when the truck is. I know I purchased fire hose already, and it's probably $80 or $90 a section that we saved doing that. Now the other part of that, there's another page on that, is we're hydro testing our air bottles, and we found out that our RIT pack, which is an emergency pack that we keep on the truck, that bottle has expired. It's an older size, 2215, that we no longer use. We now use the 4500 PSI bottles, and that's also on that. Now this is a Sourcewell contract that we're a part of, the bid kind of thing that we're going to do, and it's through MES. And I didn't even bring that paper, but I think it's 20,000.
053.
Yeah.
063, yeah.
063. So,
Well,
and I think it's 3,400 for a pack, and then 16 for the equipment on that. Sorry, Mayor.
See, on one, you got 20,063, and on the paper you have 20,035. So I guess the 20,063 is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that it? Okay.
Good job, Jim. No, we have a motion. You've heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the board for consideration of bids for the fire department, for a generator for the fire department. Can we do both of these at the same time? Or do we have?
We've already bid. Have we not done the
Not
generator?
this is a second bid item.
We did the generator, didn't we?
Yeah, we did the
did the
generator.
generator.
This will be for the loose equipment plus
Yeah.
the air bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already done the generator.
Okay. Then, it's consideration then is for request permission to purchase loose equipment for the fire trucks and replace the RIT pack at the fire department using a Sourcewell contract for $20,063.
Yes.
Good job.
Is that a vote?
Yes.
We've got a motion and a second, we just need a vote.
Okay. We roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's do this better next time.
We just really wanted them to have that stuff, right?
I guess.
You don't even have to ask,
Consideration of bids for stormwater work in the Indian Hills area.
Okay, this will be construction off the Cosby Highway, which, stay with me on this. It is a piece of property that we own and right-of-way that the engineers, and I sort of agree with them, felt that it wasn't doing its job of trapping the water coming down from English Mountain. So that's where we think that most of the problem it occurs, even though we're talking about Indian Hills, which is on the other side of the interstate. So this was the most cost-effective phase that we could do. We hope it's phase 1 of 1, and any more rain events won't create that channel of water that cuts its way through the middle of that neighborhood, trapping the water up on the Cosby Highway and slowly releasing it so that you don't get that surge, yeah, that destructive surge that comes through the middle of the neighborhood. Yeah. So this will help. We hope it completely fixes it. There's other options down the road, but this is the most cost-effective one because we didn't have to buy any property or get an easement. And the lowest bid was from local contractor Homels, and we did have 2 bids, so it was competitive.
Okay. All right. You've heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion.
I'll say
Is your water coming down faster on me now when I do that? Is that what you had that done for?
Motion to approve Homels.
Yeah. Yeah, junior high. I think you did mention junior high in the amount of $69,000.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion then for consideration of bids for stormwater work in the Indian Hills area. It has been properly seconded. It is for stormwater work in the Indian Hills area in the amount of $69,000 for junior high. Roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Item F, consideration of bids for a vehicle for animal control.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'd like to ask the board to approve the purchase of a new animal control truck. The truck I'm wanting to replace is the 2007 Dodge Ram that we currently have. It's got over 120,000 miles, and we're starting to experience some transmission issues with this truck, among other mechanical issues. The quote on a new truck that I received is $51,544, and the money would be in our budget.
Is it available?
As of right now, it is.
I know we've had trouble.
The bank is, according to the dealership, the bank is open for this model that I'm looking for, but I don't know how long. That's only open for so long.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay, you've heard the presentation. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on board to approve consideration of bids for a vehicle for animal control in the amount of $51,544 from Allen J. Fleet Sales.
yes, sir.
It has been properly seconded. Roll call.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderwoman Luana Ottinger.
Yes.
Alderman Randy Reagan.
Yes.
Alderman Steve Smith.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Connie Ball.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Lisa. Item 11 is comments from citizens. Is there anyone present today that wishes to be heard?
I do.
Okay.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the department heads and everybody involved to help with the audit. It was a little bit of a struggle this year for them, and I should have said this before she left while she was up there, but I got lost for a second on that, thinking about it. But she does really good work, and I am able to communicate with her back and forth all year long, and everybody really does help out getting everything we need. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and in her absence even, but thank you to Haley, because she keeps everybody going and getting us on track for this audit, too. That's all.
I second
And they'll be
that.
back in July.
Yeah.
Start over.
Just in time.
Never ends.
All right. Tim?
I'd like to take just a minute of time. I want to introduce to you our newest employee, Ms. Molly Ford Ely. She has been with us now for about 4 weeks, and she's doing us a terrific job, and I need all the help I can get. So she's stepping in, and Christine's done a lot of training with her, and so she's hit the floor running. So thank you.
Well, welcome. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Hearing none, we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.